Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with my little sister, Amy Reelman.
Hi.
So we want to hop on here quick, talk a little bit about how Amy and I started kind of working together on our business. So I had been doing Beachbody I had been a coach for 4 years, but really hadn't really put much time into it. I was more focused on my career than more than anything else. And then kind of the beginning of 2013, I decided I was going to really go for it and turn this thing into a real full-time business. So I was working it kind of on the side when I wasn't at my full-time job. And about 6 months into really putting a ton of time into it, kind of halfway through 2013, my income really started to kind of take off and people started noticing it. But not a lot of people really noticed it because I was pretty private about how I built the business. I didn't post a lot on Facebook. It was more kind of behind the scenes. So one day, it was a Thursday, I'm in Boston, and just so happened that we happened to work in the same building in Boston. Even though we didn't work for the same company, we were in the same building. And I'm sitting outside at lunch one day, and it's a beautiful day out. It's I think, end of May, right?
Yeah, it was beginning of May.
Yeah, okay, so it's May. I'm sitting outside at lunch, and she comes outside, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, nothing, just checking my paycheck from Beachbody. And I think she was kind of like, you still do that thing? She really didn't even know was really taking it serious and didn't even realize I was still doing it.
Because you didn't really post about it publicly on Facebook. You did a lot of just private messaging and stuff with people.
Right.
So I knew you were I knew you had done it, and I knew that everyone was involved in it, but I don't think I really thought about it that much.
Right. So up until that point, for a few years, she was drinking Shakeology and loved it and loved the workouts. So that was really cool. But had no interest in the business. She was in college, so she was like, I need to graduate and get a real job. So she had no interest in Beachbody whatsoever. And then she comes outside that day and she asks me, hey, what are you doing? I tell her I'm looking at my Beachbody paycheck, and she goes, oh, cool. How much was it? Do you remember how much it was?
It was $1,800 or $1,700 for the week, which was more than I was making at my full-time job. So I was like, wait, for the week or the month? And he was like, the week. And I was like, wait, what?
And that was actually more than I was making a week at my full-time job, and I was still working full-time.
Yeah. And I was also so I had been drinking Shakeology, and I had done the workout programs here and there. And at that point, I was actually doing one of Beachbody's Ultimate Reset programs. So I was a week or so into that, maybe even a little bit more, and I had lost 7 pounds, and I was feeling really good, and I was felt good about myself, so I could share that with others. And so he kind of caught me at a really good time that I was these programs really do work. I've been using them, consistently for a while now, and he's making an awesome paycheck. But before, all I thought about when I thought of Beachbody was that you had to host home parties, and that you had to just do face-to-face all the time with people. And I didn't want to
She didn't want to talk to her friends about it. And
Yeah.
and so she asked me how I did it. So I was like, all right, well, meet me tomorrow, Friday. Meet me tomorrow at lunch, and I'll show you how to do it in 20 minutes. So we met in this back hallway because I was trying to I didn't want anyone to be around. It was kind of sketchy.
I remember being just so you know, if I wasn't your sister, this would be really weird. So you can't bring people into weird back alleys. But you had printed out just kind of how you connect with people on social media, how you talk about it and everything. Mostly on Instagram. A lot of it was on Instagram, and then Facebook too. But I was like, that's all you're doing? And he was like, yeah, but I do it consistently. Right. And I do it every day. And I just loved the aspect of just building it on social media, but also that it was on my own schedule. I didn't have to host a home party on Saturday, and then if something came up, I would have to miss out on hanging out with my friends, so that I had to do this home party, or kind of have to do that. So I just wanted to be able to build it on my own schedule, but you still have to be consistent with it.
Right. So she I wasn't at the time wasn't posting a ton on social media, wasn't blowing up people's news feeds, was reaching out to people just through private Facebook groups, going into different fitness related Facebook groups, connecting with people, inviting them to my Facebook group. It was just a free kind of fitness community was connecting with people on Instagram by searching different hashtags and then inviting them to join a little private Facebook group and connecting with them that way. Wasn't trying to sell them anything or push them on coaching, just create that community. And she was like, I can do that too. And what happened was that community, some of them wanted to become coaches and try the product. So the business kind of grew organically without me having to post a ton and without having to reach out to a tons of like friends and family initially, which was kind of cool. She liked that aspect of it.
Yeah.
At the time, how old were you when I first
23.
So she's 23. And I think like up until that point, she wasn't really interested because she had the idea of, I need to get a real job, a corporate job. I got my 4-year degree. So what were you doing? What was your job?
I was working for an investment company. It was like an entry-level position. And at that time, I had been working there for about 8 months. So I kind of got the feel of like, I remember like sitting at my desk a lot of times being like, this is it. Like, I'm going to work for 40 plus years, 9 to 5. Like, you know, I wasn't making a ton. I knew that my income would grow, but I knew it would be limited. So I remember like when he caught me, it was like a nice day outside, and he was mentioning that, you know, he was eventually going to quit his full-time job. So that was like, wow, like you can actually do that. So seeing like the proof of him being consistent with it. And
that's another great thing. Like, so when you saw me consistent with it or being successful with it, did you ever think like, oh, like that's Patrick Grillman, like he's got something I don't have, or he knows something I don't have, or he has the connections I don't have, or he got in before me, or whatever. Like, you looked at me and you're like, that's Pat, like that's my brother.
Yeah.
Like, if he can do it, I definitely can do it. So you never really doubted it. You just came in and just were consistent with connecting with people and inviting people to take a look at the group.
When he broke it down to like show me what you were doing every day, it wasn't that like I knew it wasn't like hard, like the actual tasks. Like it wasn't like he was a CPA, like that's a hard career path. I knew when he showed me the breakdown, it wasn't hard, but I knew that it was something that you had to like actually stay consistent with. The tasks aren't hard, but like making yourself stay consistent and dealing with like some of the rejection and people quitting on you and stuff, like that's hard. But the actual tasks each day weren't hard.
Right. So that was like 3.5 years ago. You've been a coach for like 3.5 years, and she's like been a top 100 coach the last 2 years now, elite coach the last 2 years.
Yeah, elite 2 years.
What'd you make 100. This week?
2,700 or 20. What was it? 2,700, 2,650, I think.
Pretty amazing. What's the disclaimer we got to share?
Beachbody
does not guarantee any level of income. It's all based on your own
effort and
skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, if any of you guys have any questions for Amy or I about what coaching is or anything to do with what we do, or want to try one of our challenge groups or anything like that, you can reach out to both of us. I'll tag her on this. But yeah, hit us up with any questions, and we're happy to answer them.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Bye.
See ya.